Well, namaste, everyone. Yeah, today we were on the phone this morning and talking, and decided that this would be a good one to actually do on video about Kal Bhairav.
Yeah.
And people that want to use it as a curse. Okay. And who and what Kal Bhairav is. And so I just thought, oh, this is a good one. So anyway, yeah, they say that what Kal Bhairav is fearsome and destruction and all of these things. Okay, but the thing I want them to understand, this is one that Kal Bhairav came into being because there was an argument between Brahma and Vishnu, okay, and Lord Shiva came and warned Brahma to stop lying. So, but Brahma, he said he insulted Shiva, then Shiva decided to punish Brahma, and he created Kal Bhairav, okay. So anyway, coming down to it, in the end, okay, Kal Bhairav, the Lord Shiva says that one's knowledge will not be glorified until he's gone beyond the pride and ego. Okay? So let's understand this. Okay, you have to get beyond the pride and ego. Okay, and that you have to remove those things first, and God will destroy the persons that are extremely proud. So the God who removes pride is born. That is Kal Bhairav. His function is to get rid of pride and ego, and he does not tolerate lying. He loves truth. So again, as I am telling these people that want to try to curse and throw Kal Bhairav as some big curse, I dance with Kal Bhairav, okay? I danced with him for years. That there's nothing to fear when you're speaking truth and you're standing for truth, okay? Kal Bhairav is basically the male form of the one of the same as the 10 Mahadjis, Bhairavi, okay? And so again, if you understand the path, because this is exact opposite of the path that they are walking. If you're not walking a path of trying to make powers and become a bigger ego, those people have something to fear from Kal Bhairav, because Kal Bhairav is there to cut through those things, okay? When you're on a path such as this, what this path is, we actually see Kal Bhairav as a blessing, because it cuts through the illusion and delusion of ego. Now, those of you that want to use it as a curse, you might want to think about that. This is like taking the high tantras and going into a low black magic type of thing that you're going to put out a curse. Kal Bhairav loves truth. Do you think he loves when you're going to use him as a curse? Really?
Yeah.
You might want to think about that.
Really, it's like those two doors. It can go this way or that, to liberation or to more delusion, and the powers and those kinds of things. If people are coveting those for their own ego, nourishing their ego, it's a whole different thing than the other. And the fearsome, all that fearsome outer appearance is to just destroy ego. That kind of destruction is really when one is sincerely walking this kind of path of surrender. Right. It's a completely different,
opposite.
100% opposite
yeah. Than what most of the paths that people are in Dvaita and want to remain in Dvaita and want to try to get powers and all of those things to make their ego bigger.
Yeah.
on this type of path, we're going towards Advaita. Advaita, to get to Advaita mind, is the destruction of ego, the destruction of that illusion, okay?
And I think they've taken of what they read, it depends on their intention.
Mm-hmm.
If it's to, eat for an ego prop, then that's a different thing, or to have powers and all of that. And to use it objectively, outwardly, I just have never seen those things as that, more as the internal. And it just seems like it's not right to use that on anybody that way. That's not...
Well, that's what they do, and they want to try to do lower things. Same like you use the Bible and they turn it around. Satanists that want to try to turn and make it 180 degrees what it's from. And to use it as a curse instead of a blessing. Exactly. This is basically on the same order as that. So you might want to think about what you're doing, those that are doing that. So anyway, those that want to run out and say, Kal Bhairav is going to get you. Well, no, I dance with Kal Bhairav, okay?
If you were sincere, you'd want it to get you. You'd want it to come. And
well,
when you're done,
they don't want it to get them because they're growing ego. They're not going beyond ego.
But I'm saying for here, it's like,
for here,
come along.
Yes,
that's your
absolutely.
partner. That's like Kali to me. I don't
it is another form of one of the, it's the male form of one of the same as the 10 Mahavidyas, okay? Yeah. So we're going to also talk a little bit about Mahavidyas. They've got the 10 Mahavidyas. They are Kali, Tara, Sodashi, Bhuvaneshwari, Chinamaste, Bhairavi, which is, of course, the female form of Kal Bhairav, okay, Dhumavati, Bagalamukhi, Matangi, and Kamala, okay. So now these are the 10 wisdoms. Now the 10 wisdoms, and these are the deeper things of consciousness. These all have to do with, again, those that are not familiar, and I know that none of Nietzsche and Anda's people are familiar, that the 10 Mahavidyas all have to do with Kundalini awakenings, okay? Bhairavi, Kal Bhairav, all has to do, again, also with Kundalini awakenings, to destroy the illusion and the delusion, okay? That is our path. So sitting here is like somebody that cooks with fire every day, and somebody that's terrified of fire, doesn't know anything about it, is going to curse them with fire.
That's a good way to put it.
I use fire every day, okay? Yeah. So this is not a curse.
It ends up being,
it's a very good thing. So we know the 10 Mahavidyas and Kal Bhairav intimately. Okay. That is part of a path on a genuine Kundalini path. Okay? So people do not understand these at all. I'm not going to get into the depths of the 10 Mahavidyas. That's for, again, people that are deeper on the path. Then most of the people are not into that depth of the Kundalini experience and what they have to do with it and what is their benefit. Okay, that's for the deeper Tantra, the deeper wisdoms, the deeper knowledge. Make no mistake, we know exactly what it is here. Mm-hmm. So for your fools that think I'm not a guru and I don't know anything, I'm not giving this out to everyone, okay? This is not for the general populace, okay? But the 10 Mahavidyas and Kal Bhairav are there for the destruction of ego, to bring liberation, okay? So it's only fearful for those that are in ego, trying to make constructs in their soap operas, trying to have powers, and they don't understand the deeper things of spirit, They are absolutely anathema with Advaita, because that's destruction to them. Advaita would be their destruction.
Yeah.
Okay? They want to stay in Dvaita mind. So I absolutely, Kal Bhairav, to that type of person would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, because if their focal point is with that, trying to destroy someone else or whatever it is, I mean, that those kinds of things will manifest back to you. Whatever your mindset is, it comes back and blooms within your own being. It's just not a thing to play with.
No, you don't play with those energies when you don't understand what they are.
Yeah.
And clearly, these type of people don't understand what they're playing with. Okay, they understand very little. They don't understand any depth of knowledge about these energies. The 10 Mahavijas, Kal Bhairav, all of these things have to do with various energies, wisdoms, things that are broken through, things that are brought to light, things, and this is what the Kundalini path is. If you can't stand to read about the 10 Mahavijas, for God's sakes, do not open Kundalini. Do not want to, because you will experience each one of these in its fullness.
No doubt.
That is the path of Kundalini. I'm going to put that knowledge out here today. That is the path of Kundalini 100%.
That's right. All of their symbology, it points to the path of awakening.
It's to the path of awakening.
And it's not what you think it is. You look at it and it could look frightening. It's not.
But all of these cognitions, all of these energies, all of these wisdoms are what one passes through in the path of Kundalini. It's not a joke. It's not an intellectual exercise. It's not something you read about and fantasize about and try to say, oh yeah, I understand it, I get it. No, I mean, it is directly experienced to the fullness of degree. You know the 10 Mahavijas intimately, and the energies and the wisdoms they are pointing to, that is the Kundalini path. So those of you that think, again, that meat is not a part of this path, read the fucking Mahavijas, okay? Get a clue. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. You see Kal Bhairav standing there. You see Shiva holding a noose. What is a noose for? Hunting. What's next to Kal Bhairav? The dog. Why? Because they used to use them in hunting. Okay? People that want to come and call me a hypocrite again. You want to talk, you ask if I can read the Vedas, if I can speak the Vedas, if I can spout and parrot the Vedas. Why don't you spend the time to read the Vedas and really see what's there? Because you will find out the sacrifice and the meat was a very integral part of it. Okay? I'm not the hypocrite. I'm the one that understands the history. And Kal Bhairav, which you want to use as a curse about people and send against people, it's part of the Kundalini journey. I'm a Kundalini guru, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's really insane. It's really insane to throw that at you. Why don't they just say, Kali will curse you? Well, okay, Kali's cursed me in a very good way. Thank you.
Yes,
no problem there.
We continue to dance with Kali as well. So the Kali and the 10 Mahavijas.
And they're the same kind of feeling. Right?
It's the same type of feeling. There's the male aspect, the female aspect, the energy of it, and then one is more dynamic and one is not. Okay, so whether you're calling it Kal Bhairav or Bhairavi, it doesn't matter. It's the same energy. Okay?
All the Mahavijas similar too.
All the Mahavijas are similar too. Again, so people that don't understand this path, and you're out there and you're staring at a little tin box with a big blob of light, trying to say you got powers and you're little gods and you're running around, Now I'm seriously wondering if they're not putting drugs in these people's things, because the guy,
really?
the last video I saw, the guy is rambling.
Mm-hmm.
They cut the video 28 times.
I think because he was rambling
28 times they had to cut the video. You see blip, 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 blip. You'll see my videos, not one of them's cut. Never, ever, ever is it doctored. I start and I end, and I don't look up something first before I'm speaking. It's, you know, what comes out, comes out. Okay? But you look at it, this guy is rambling. We become little gods. I was an atheist before. I only need 1 hour sleep a night. I have more time to spend with my friends, my family. What family? The Nityananda clan?
I don't need much water. I don't need much food. It just went on and on.
It was just...
really in the ozones, not in a good way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was ungrounded.
Yeah.
Had no grounding. I'm sure he's feeling very lightheaded because he's in utter exhaustion.
Yeah.
Utter exhaustion with very little food. When you go and you start fasting and things, you get lightheaded. Don't confuse that with how somehow more energy and that I'm higher in awareness now, because you're lightheaded and you're dizzy for
Plus,
Pete's
being
sakes.
around all that energy, whatever's happening, can also bring people into kind of a giddy, I guess, kind of mode.
Right, and groupthink. They're being very conditioned
That's the thing.
by that groupthink, which they're spouting. And you can see this guy is just 100% was just spouting this stuff back that he's been listening to for the last how many days, like a robot, parroting it back. Okay, very, very, very sad to see.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh, we're learning to manifest. We're learning to this. We're learning to that. We're little gods. I was an atheist
Humans
before.
are gods.
Humans
That's
are
what you
gods.
say.
Humans are gods.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's nothing about stilling the mind, quietude, staying in the
No.
heart.
There's nothing
that felt
about surrender. There is nothing
sincere
about
or,
no.
you
No.
know, heartfelt or
No, it's all about propping up ego
surrender.
and
Was
letting
surrender
them
there?
think they've got more power.
Yeah.
And this is why they get so nasty. This is why the people going there get so nasty, and they lose their moral compass, and they want to throw out Kal Bhairav as a curse because they're not walking a path of internalization to surrender into that.
And they don't want that taken away or rattled.
No,
Boy,
they
that's
want
for
to
sure.
grow
They don't
to
want to be
become
challenged.
gods. I want to be a
Yeah.
co-creator.
Right. It's not about challenging themselves at all. It's about adding a greater, bigger
Exactly.
ego.
I'm gonna
Ego.
add more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get more. Well, you're on exactly the opposite path of Kal Bhairav. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guarantee later you will have problems. Okay. If you don't understand what Kal Bhairav is,
Yeah.
you don't understand what the Mahadjis are, you don't understand Kali, okay, you're going to have trouble later. You may think you're on top of the world now, may think you've got these powers and this and that, and like I said, you're very ineffective. Your so-called powers that you think you have do nothing here, okay, because I've already, like I said, I danced with Kal Bhairav. I did that dance for 30, 40 years, okay? And all of that, this is what I said, all of that deconstructs into a Kevala Nirva Kalpa Samadhi, where the ego at that time is blown out, gone. What remains when one merges out of that is a Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Sahaj Samadhi, of Advaita mind, okay? The Dvaita realm, the illusion, the delusion of it, which is where you want to continue to try and gain your powers, etc., goes. Okay? The illusion of it goes.
Like there's someone there to gain powers, right?
There's nobody at that point
Right.
that remains to want to have powers. One has deconstructed into that Advaita that is, that primal which what the linga represents. That's what I was saying today on somebody else's video. They were asking, does God exist? So I ran across one person who was actually very good. They're in Tamil Nadu, and they were actually giving out the right, correct knowledge, and I'm sure they gain a lot of problems from it because they did speak to the truth of what things are. And he was saying Shiva was a man. Well, this guy got a little upset, and said, well, are there gods? Is the God, you know? And I said, yes, there is God, but not the way you think. That God is that formless. It's beyond form. Okay? It's what the linga represents, the pregnant void. Okay? That which is the energy which runs through all of life. It's that. It's there. Okay? Yes, when one deconstructs into that and aware of only that, because when one goes into the Kevala Nirvikalpa, that's all that exists. And it's not seen with any of the five senses. You're not seeing it with your eyes. You're not sensing it there. But it's more real than anything you can touch in the phenomenal existence beyond a shadow of a doubt. It is, and it's real, and it holds the laws of the universe in place. And you understand why karma has to exist. And why these laws of the universe are the way that they are. You know it in an instant. The minute the mind deconstructs into that. Okay? So all of these things are revealed in an instant. And it remains. Okay? The mind stills, the Dvaita mind is gone, stills into Advaita, that singular is. The cognition is totally changed at that point. The consciousness is totally changed at that point. Okay? So yes, there is God that exists, but it doesn't matter, you know, if you see it in form, still it's always formless. In the end, it's formless. And all these gods and goddesses represent various different energies, cognitions, wisdoms that one has to pass through on the path to realization.
Yeah, it really all comes down to the same thing. I mean, they all have their little different external symbology and different things, but it comes down to that same thing of cutting through, and, you know, just the end result is just that non-dual,
right.
But that's what, you know.
So if you're on a path to gather and collect,
yeah,
my advice is stay away from the Mahadjis.
Oh, yeah. You know, it even says in there to do that. If you know, your mindset isn't in the right place, or even a householder.
Right.
It's not the best
it's
for
not
that.
beneficial, and this is why I keep saying, you know, if you're a householder, you know, if you've got a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, what can you do?
What
you
can
have
you
to,
do?
at that point, you have to go. You have
You
to,
do.
you have to understand it. You have to, at that point.
For
But
sure.
I do not recommend awakening Kundalini for householders until they have discharged all the things they need to do, because the path is just too difficult. The things you have to go through.
That's right. That's one thing, and then also it can draw you so internal. You really want to be away from that. It's hard to connect
Exactly.
with that. So it's the opposite of what needs to be done. I mean, your work
Right.
there is with your family.
Right. The 10 Mahadjis, etc., have to
Yeah.
do with an internal,
Totally.
for a pulling away, for a deconstruction process, which in the end brings the whole of existence.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's a,
Nothing
Oh,
is
I don't-
lost in the end. Nothing
Yeah.
of value is lost. I'll put it that way. It sounds a little daunting to begin with, but nothing's lost except for the baggage and the delusion and the illusion that ran your life like a soap opera. Okay? The mask is off at that point. It goes away. But if you're not ready to face that, because what is Kali? Looks very fearful. She's standing there, blood dripping off her tongue, standing on Shiva. But what's she saying? Fear not. I've got boons. I've got blessings. Don't be afraid. I'm here. but you've got to challenge that fear. You've got to go fully into it. Okay? Like I said, it's not a joke. These things are not a joke. In one of my other lives, I was doing, and this vision was very clear to me, that I was involved in Chod practice. In this life, I knew nothing about Chod at that time. And it's where it was I was in a Tibetan life, and it's where you invite the hungry ghost to feed upon your flesh. And it's there, again, it becomes very, very real. And I went crazy in that lifetime. I was not prepared for it. You're thinking, oh yeah, this is an intellectual thing. No, but I mean, it really becomes very real. And it's there to challenge and to cut through that delusion and illusion. But if you are not strong enough to hang on it, if you're not strong enough to hang, you can lose your mind. And the same thing with Kundalini. You can go, this is why they have madness and death, where they say in many of the things, to Patanjali's, all these other sutras that have to do with Kundalini, don't mess with it, you can bring madness and death. This is why you need a competent Kundalini guru that has done the whole of the journey to help to guide you through.
Right, because there's points where it feels like you walk on the border of that. I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
I've been there. And,
Absolutely.
Off and on,
Absolutely. It's not a joke. You can absolutely go off your rocker if you don't know you don't know the way through. You don't have a stabilization in place.
Because these things become very real, like
they
you
become
say,
very
in terms
real.
of the demons and things. I mean, they are there, and it's just, that's all I got to say.
Exactly. When those energies come,
oh boy.
When those energies come, it is not a joke. Like I said, at that point in my path when I had to go through that point, and you do. If you're going to be a teacher, you have to face all of it 100%, because you have to be able to guide people through. And so you have to experience.
Stable in your own
You have to be stable in your own thing. So these things come. And I'm telling you, when that was coming, and it took me a good couple years to get through that, to understand how to work with that type of thing.
Yeah, because the demons followed you to the next life. They came again. Oh, here we go again. Let's pick up where we left off, right?
Oh, it isn't bad.
No,
I was really in the middle of the floor.
Oh, I understand.
In the middle of the floor like this. Was absolutely.
That's what I was doing when I heard him.
I was absolutely like this, and I'm surprised I didn't get white hair immediately. Yeah. But again, it took understanding. It took understanding. You don't feed it. You don't fight it. You don't love it. You have to see it and be absolutely still and give it no energy for it to dissipate. And eventually that energy will dissipate. But you cannot feed it. Any type of thing, fear about it, fighting it, loving it, anything you send towards it will feed it, and it will grow. It doesn't matter
positive, negative, or
it doesn't matter positive, negative. It will grow. It will feed it. It will take it. It will feed on it and become even more powerful, more in your face. Okay. So you have to learn.
That's
and
true.
This is
ego
not
period too,
exactly.
But then you've got the more demonic feeling ones, and that's a bigger.
Exactly, it's a bigger thing to face. But exactly, you have to learn.
Yeah.
You have to be still, steady, see it come, and not feed anything, not give it anything. Not give it anything. This is not easy, and it's not done in 1 second.
That's for sure.
You have to be steady, 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 steady.
Yeah, I feel grateful for those mantras, or those Mahadji mantras. Sometimes, they just throw those out, and those are good as well.
So we're going to cut this now, and okay. Thank you. Namaste.